Hey everyone, Ronan here. I want to welcome you guys back to the channel, and I hope you're ready for today's part. But before we get into that, I need you guys to take a look at this analytic bar right here. If you notice, it's only at 38% of my total viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and make sure notifications are turned on so you'll never miss an upload. But anyway, without further ado, I hope you guys are ready, because there's going to be something wild that happens at the end of this part. So let's get into What If Ash Was Born in Kalos, Part 10. I hope you enjoy. Alright, we are picking back up with Ash, as he has finally made his way out of the forest, heading back from the Pokemon village at the edge of Snowbelle City. Man, that trek seemed like it was a lot longer than it was originally, Ash thinks to himself, as you can see the Pokemon Center starting to come in view. Looking at Absol, Ash wonders how upset Grant and Alexa will be, considering he just left them without any words or notification that he was going to leave. But Absol just stares back when they can hear from the Pokemon Center both Grant and Alexa screaming to Ash as they come barreling towards him down the snow-covered path. Ash, where have you been? Did you seriously head off into the forest alone? Alexa yells. Ash tries to answer, but then Grant is on his case. Boy, what's wrong with you? Why would you do something so reckless? You know you shouldn't have gone by yourself. That Pokemon could have attacked you. We thought something serious had happened to you. We didn't know what to do. Again, Ash tries to interject any type of words, but then Alexa starts up. Why did you leave without your backpack or your holocaster? You left everything here but your Pokemon. Then Grant starts to chime in as well, eventually just causing Ash to start to yell over the two. You guys, I'm fine. Don't worry, everything is okay. Ash, you've been gone for almost 2 weeks. Everything is not okay. You didn't let us know that you were going to leave or that you were planning to be gone that long, even if you were off on training. Alexa, Grant, I promise you, I was fine, in good hands the entire time. You can call this a bit of a bonding experience. This whole thing allowed me to get closer to my Pokemon, and for the first time in what seems like a long time, it seems that I have some clarity. Curious to what he means, Grant begins to probe a little bit, but Alexa doesn't give him the chance. Wanting to know what he experienced in the forest. Did he run into that Pokemon again? Where has he been the entire time? But Ash is oddly evasive when it comes to this line of questioning, being very vague about the whole situation, just playing off saying he was in the mountains surrounding Snowbelle City training, focusing on getting things back together with Rampardos, Absol, and his other Pokemon. Grant knows that Ash is hiding something, but obviously he doesn't want to talk about it at this point, so he decides to leave it alone for right now. Alexa, how about this? Let's go inside. It's getting to be nightfall, and I'm sure Ash and the rest of his Pokemon are hungry. This immediately perks Ash up, and you know when he has food on his mind, there's nothing you can do. And this immediately detracts Alexa's line of questioning, as Ash just pushes past her with Absol heading into the Pokemon Center. After they had a chance to choke down a meal, Grant and Alexa again tried to talk to Ash, a bit more on the conservative side, just inquiring about what Ash has been doing. Ash tells him the truth, well, as much of the truth as possible, not really wanting to talk about the Pokemon or the place that he had spent at, just telling them that he had been training, and as a result, he's managed to grow closer with his Pokemon, and that he's ready for his next gym battle with Wolfric. Alexa asks Ash if he's crazy. You've been lost in the woods and mountains for the last 2 weeks, and the first thing you want to do when you get back is a gym battle? Ash, unsure how to respond, just looks at her and shrugs. Yeah, that's kind of the whole reason why I went. I was looking to rediscover myself, looking at Absol, and I think we did, as Absol nods back at its trainer. Unsure on how to take this, Alexa ceases her questioning, as she too begins to notice that Ash is being very vague with his answers. Grant, on the other hand, wants to know about Ash's training. Have any more of his Pokemon evolved? Was he able to unlock any new information about Rampardos? Answering no, Ash just says it was more of about a journey of self-discovery. The time away from everything with just his Pokemon allowed him to grow closer to them, and he had a couple of self-realizations. Things that he needs to prove in the battle with Wolfric that he plans to have tomorrow. Curious about this, Grant tries to probe further, but Ash interrupts him. Oh, by the way, where's my stuff at? I need to get to my Holocaster. I have to call Lysander. There's a couple of things that I needed to talk to him about. Grant just points to the room that they've been staying in as Ash and Absol head off, while Grant watches intensely. Wanting to give him privacy with his phone call, Alexa and Grant hold back. It is at this point though, Alexa then breaks off from Grant to a different part of the Pokemon Center, as she needs to contact her boss back in Lumio City. This leaves Grant alone, and even though Grant hasn't seen Ash for 2 weeks, he has been busy. One thing that he hasn't had the chance to, and that Looker wanted him to do, he was able to finally fulfill. He was able to modify Ash's Holocaster slightly, so that way way he can hear the conversations from his holocaster. With Alexa now gone from Grant's area, it's safe for him to tune in to what Ash is saying to Lysander. So, flipping on the holocaster, he flips over to the frequency that he programmed for Ash's. And it seems Ash is in mid-conversation with Serena. Serena, I really need to talk to Lysander. I've come across some new information about the Pokemon that I have that are off colors. Really, Serena says on the other line. How interesting. But I'm sorry to say that Lysander is indisposed right now, Ash. As a matter of fact, I don't even know where he's gone. Really, Ash questions? How long has it been like that? It's been about a week, Serena says. And unfortunately, he didn't leave any forwarding information, just his holocaster behind. At this point, I'm just running Lysander Labs in his absence until he returns. But you can leave the information with me. Ash feels a little bit off by this. He's not sure why, but he thinks this is a bad idea. No, that's okay. I'd rather talk to Lysander directly, as he is the one who asked me to do it. So can you just give him the message that I called, and to have him contact me back whenever he gets in? Are you sure, Ash? I can make sure the information gets to him. Yes, I'm sure, Serena. And then Ash hangs up the phone, trying to get off before anything else is said. With the call ending, Grant then turns off his holocaster as well, wondering what Ash is absolutely hiding. While over in the other room, Ash is thinking to himself, what is going on? Why has Lysander all of a sudden disappeared? But he can't worry about that now. He does have a gym battle that he has to think about tomorrow, and he intends on taking this badge. Looking at Absol, he says, are you ready, buddy? It nods. Alright then, let's go gather up Alexa and Grant. As the night fades on. The next morning, Ash and Absol are up bright and early before anybody else in the Pokemon Center. Ash is eager to get this started. Heading out to the battlefield right outside the Pokemon Center, Ash lets all of his Pokemon out. He then makes a declaration to all of them. He wants them all to be out to watch the gym battle for today. He hasn't chosen the 3 that he's going to use, but he wants them all to be present so that they can watch the battle. After all, they are all family. All 6 of Ash's Pokemon look on as they nod in confidence, backing their trainer's decision. Meanwhile, Grant watches silently from a window in the Pokemon Center. Going back inside, Ash runs into Grant. Oh, hey Grant, I didn't think you were up. No, Ash, I couldn't really sleep last night. Things have been on edge since you've been gone, but I suppose with you being back, things will slowly get back to normal. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, Grant. Sorry that I worried you guys so much, but this is something that I needed to do with me, and I promise you, I'm okay. I do, however, have one favor, Ash asks. Oh, what's that, Grant says. I need you and Alexis to stay away from the gym today. I want this battle to be on my own. Really, Grant says in a surprised expression. Why is that? Well, every gym battle I've had up until this point, you guys have been present. I think it's time that I had one with just me and my Pokemon. I can't rely on you guys forever, and I have to learn to trust in my Pokemon and my own decisions. Okay, Ash, if that's what you wish, I'll make sure Alexis stays away. Smiling, thanks, Grant. Don't mention it, kid. As Ash walks out of the center, heading to the gym. After some time, Ash and his Pokemon arrive at the gym in Snowbelle City. It took them quite a while to get from the Pokemon Center to the actual gym, as Ash decided to take the long way through the city. He wanted to enjoy the time he had with his Pokemon before they started their battle. But things are different now. Ash feels a sense of calm that he hasn't felt in a while, like things are serene. His Pokemon and him, for the first time in a long time, are all on the same page. He doesn't know what it was about the Pokemon Village, but things just feel right. And of course, there's also the decision for him to abandon Mega Evolution, which got him and Absol on the same page. Standing at the doorway of the gym, Ash pushes open the massive doors to see Wulfric sitting in his throne of ice. Ash, you've returned. So, I take it that your training went well. Smiling, Wulfric, I needed it more than I could ever know, and it's something that I will never forget. Well, I'm glad that you found what you were looking for, Ash. So I take it you finally returned for your rematch. I have, Wulfric, and this time, nothing's gonna stop me from claiming that badge. Really, Ash? Well then, I like the confidence that you've gained, but can you back it up? Oh, I plan to. Very well. We will have a full 3-on-3 battle. Winner take all. I wouldn't have it any other way, Wulfric. Taking their 2 positions on the battlefield, Ash's Pokemon surround him as Wulfric rises from his ice throne to throw his first Pokeball. Bergmite, go! What emerges is a small, ice-type looking Pokemon. Pulling out his Pokedex, Ash learns as much information about this Pokemon as he possibly can, ultimately deciding that if Wulfric is going to start small, then he will too. Slugma, you're up! The small slug slinks its way onto the battlefield. Oh, going with the type advantage, are we, Ash? Well then, let's see how this plays out. Smiling, don't worry, Wulfric. Slugma may be small, but it has exactly what we need to win. Very well, Ash. I will take the first move. As Wulfric orders his Bergmite in with a rapid spin, the small Fleabird uses the ice to its advantage, flinging its body across in a circular formation, colliding with the Slugma before Ash could even make a response, hitting it hard enough to force it to slide back across the ice rink floor. But this doesn't seem to shake Ash. His newfound confidence really showing through here. So, Wulfric, you want to use power? Then we'll use power. Slugma, use Body Slam. Almost acting as an extension of Ash, Slugma immediately takes to the air, bringing the full weight of its small body down on Bergmite. This has another effect though. Slugma is the exact opposite of Bergmite, and because Bergmite is at a disadvantage, the heat that Slugma emanates from its body starts to put the pressure, and the battle has only begun, giving the Body Slam a little bit more damage than it would have normally caused. Seeing this, Wulfric orders Bergmite to pull back. He knows that they can't stay in close. What's the matter, Wulfric? Starting to feel the heat? Oh, don't worry, Ash. You're not going to be able to win that easily. As Wulfric orders an Icy Wind, Ash, however, has the perfect counter for this, ordering for a Lava Plume. Slugma intakes as much air as it possibly can before bellowing out a heated gust of air and magma towards the tiny iceberg. It immediately cuts through the Icy Wind, sending it back into the wall of the gym, ending the battle. Well, Ash, seems starting off small gave you the advantage. How about that? Wulfric, I told you, I'm a whole different trainer than the last time we battled. You're gonna have to try harder if you wish to beat me. I can see that, Ash. No worries, as I got the perfect Pokemon to put the pressure. Anvilug, go! What emerges from the ball is an even bigger version than what Ash had battled before with Slugma. Using his Pokédex, Ash learns that this Pokemon is the evolved form of Bergmite, and just from the looks at it, Ash can see that this thing is very defensive. Knowing full well that Slugma is going to have to put the pressure on, Ash immediately starts with a Lava Plume. Laughing, Wulfric just orders a Stone Edge that cuts through the magma attack, heading straight for Slugma. Ash, knowing that this could be a one-shot if the move connects, orders Slugma to tuck and roll as much as it can in order to avoid the stones, just barely inching its way out of the path of devastation. Quick thinking, Ash, you might be onto something there. Your Slugma seems to be a natural roller. Yeah, that was one of the things I managed to figure out when we were training in the Pokemon Village, Wulfric. I was able to get closer to my Pokemon than I ever had before, as I was able to just slow down and enjoy the light. Sounds like you had a moment of self-discovery, Ash. Let's put that to the test. Anvilug, use Gyro Ball. The iceberg-like hammer begins to spin at a rapid pace, heading for Slugma. The speed on this thing is too great, Ash thinks. There's no way Slugma will be able to get out of it this time. Thinking back to what Wulfric said about Slugma being a good roller, Ash orders Slugma to tuck in and to start to roll, trying to avoid the Gyro Ball. This, however, doesn't work like Ash wants it to, and the Gyro Ball connects with Slugma, pushing its roll into an even more faster motion. Ash, yelling at Slugma that it needs to slow down, tells it to try and turn. Slugma, hearing its trainer, puts all the force that it can into trying to maneuver its now high-speed small body. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the strength needed, and it ends up slamming into the gym wall, not too far off from where Bergmite lay. This ends up ending the battle for Slugma. It just couldn't handle the overwhelming power that it was dealing with from that Gyro Ball. Well, Ash, it looked like that lucky streak you were on quickly faded away. Recalling Slugma, Ash tells Wulfric, don't worry. Slugma may be down, but that doesn't mean the rest of his team is out. Looking on to Anvilug, Ash decides to try something. It may be crazy, but it may be crazy enough to work. Turning to his Pokemon, I know all of you want to battle right now, and you will all get your chance to battle in some sort of gym battle coming up down the road. But here, I feel like there is only one option. Looking to his Grass Dragon, hey Chespin, are you ready? Chespin, kind of thrown off by this, as it's never been in an actual gym battle before, at first is hesitant, as when it's stacked up to Ash's other Pokemon, it technically is the weakest because it's had the least amount of battles. But after some encouragement from the others on Ash's team, and the promise from Ash that if it can't handle the battle, he will pull it out, Chespin eventually agrees, walking onto the field with a little bit of uncertainty in its stride. Wulfric, quite curious to what Ash is thinking here, questions the young boy. Did you forget your typing matchup, son? That thing is a grass type. How do you expect it to beat an ice type like my Anvilug? Oh, don't worry, Wulfric. I'm sure that no matter what happens, Chespin is going to be able to win this battle. If you say so, Ash, I'll give you the first move. Very well. Chespin, use Rollout. The little dragon squirrel curls up and begins to spin at a high pace, heading down the field toward Anvilug. Wulfric, quite curious to what's going to happen, tells Anvilug just to stand by. Let it hit. Let's see what happens. Chespin inevitably collides with the giant monster, causing little to no damage. Ash, that was unimpressive. You're going to need more power if you hope to take down my Anvilug. Oh, don't worry, Wulfric. I'm sure the next one will provide more power than the first one. Wulfric, being a seasoned gym leader, is fully aware of what Ash is trying here. He's trying to use the turn advantage on Rollout. Every turn, Rollout gets stronger. But even with the second collision, Anvilug doesn't even flinch. At this point, it seems uninterested in the battle. Ash, should I even bother continuing with Anvilug? Oh, don't worry, Wulfric. We'll get there. Now, on the third turn of Rollout that's been unimpeded, Wulfric knows that things could start to stack up here and cause some serious damage to his Pokemon. Wanting to end this battle and prevent any further humiliation on Ash's part and his part, on the next pass around, Wulfric orders an Ice Fang, telling Anvilug to catch Chespin in its jaws. As the behemoth begins to execute its attack, Ash Ash orders Chespin to use the gym battlefield's indentations to create a bounce for itself. As it's been rolling at a higher speed because it's had 2 successive hits with rollout, this causes Chespin to gain altitude with each bounce, eventually bringing it very close to the jaws of Anvilug. With it barely out of reach of the Ice Fang, this allows Chespin to bring the 3rd rollout down on Anvilug's head, this time making it felt and its presence known. Wulfric, now starting to get interested in this battle, realizes what Ash was going for the whole time. He wanted to use Chespin's speed and Anvilug's massive size to his advantage by using the less than impressive rollout to lure them into a false sense of security. But Wulfric won't fall for this again. As Chespin comes back around for its 4th successive hit on rollout, Wulfric orders an avalanche. Anvilug then rears up to its hind legs, stomping its front ones down, causing the ice of the gym floor to start to shift. As it begins to crack, this throws Chespin's rollout out of whack, forcing the attack to subside, canceling it altogether. Well, so much for that plan, Ash thinks. But that's alright, we're not out of it, as Chespin is still in it, even though that ice-type move was super effective. Realizing that he needs to solve the problem of Chespin's low health, Ash then orders a Dragon Rage to be fired at Anvilug, surprising Wulfric in the process. The little grass starter has access to Dragon-type moves. How peculiar, Wulfric thinks to himself, as he orders Anvilug to chomp down on the Dragon Rage with an Ice Fang. The behemoth does so, causing a miniature cloud of smoke to form. But this is what Ash wanted, a little bit of cover to obscure the sight of both Wulfric and Anvilug, as he orders Chespin to get in close and to fire Leech Seed. Upon doing so, Anvilug is then wrapped in vines as the seed begins to sprout. A healing aura then wafts over the little squirrel as it retreats back to Ash's side of the field. Very clever, Ash, using my Pokemon's own mobility issues and its lack of sight to set up your own way of healing your Pokemon. I have to say, you're proving to be more of a challenge than I thought you would be, especially sticking with these small Pokemon that you're using. But we're not going to let you win this battle, as Anvilug fires another Stone Edge in Chespin's direction. Knowing that this could be the opening that Ash was looking for, he orders Chespin to stare down the attack. He has an idea, a little bit crazy, but it just may work. As the stones hurtle down the battlefield towards Chespin, Ash orders Chespin to use its Vine Whip on one of the stones. Doing so, Chespin fully wraps its vines around one of the stones, and at Ash's command, uses its own weight as a countermeasure to throw the stone that it wrapped back at Anvilug. Unable to dodge, it ends up taking the stone right to the head, causing a good amount of damage, but it's still not enough to knock out this tank, as a healing aura again begins to waft over Chespin as Anvilug loses a little bit more HP. Still not enough, Ash thinks to himself. How are we going to bring this thing down? There has to be some way. Reverting back to Old Faithful, Ash then orders another rollout, telling Chespin to put as much force as it can into this attack. Wulfric, not wanting them to gain any type of advantage on this one, counters back with a Gyro Ball. The two spin down the field on a collision course with each other that will most certainly determine the outcome of this individual battle. As the two collide, it is clear that the size and weight that Anvilug has behind it is just too much for Chespin to handle, especially when it's only at a 1-time hit on the rollout. It just can't handle the force and is sent flying back into the gym wall behind where Ash stands, knocking it out, securing Wulfric's second victory of the battle. Pulling out his Pokeball, Ash prepares to recall Chespin, but the little squirrel refuses to go down. Peeling itself off the wall, it stands back up, ready to get back into the battle. It seems to have found a new gusto, a second wind. But Ash knows this is a bad idea, telling Chespin it's done. He told it that if he felt that it couldn't battle any longer, he would call it, and he's calling it. He understands that it doesn't want to let the team down, but he has no choice here. Chespin is outmatched. It did put up a good fight though. A bit disappointed, Chespin hangs its head and rejoins the rest of Ash's Pokemon on the sidelines. Now, Ash has a conundrum on his hands. He needs something that can mow through 2 of Wulfric's Pokemon, knowing that he still has Mega Evolution on the back burner with his Abomasnow. But to Ash, the choice is clear, as he and Rampardos are on the same page while it steps forward, taking its position on the battlefield. So Ash, going with your newly evolved Rampardos, are we? I'm quite excited to see what this thing can do, as I've never battled one of this variety before. Oh, don't worry, Wulfric, you're gonna get a show, as Ash wastes no time ordering it in with an Iron Head. Stamping its feet on the ground, as it lowers its head, the ironclad behemoth charges in, full force, ready to collide with Anvilug. Knowing that this thing has far more power than the Chespin that faced it before, Wulfric wastes no time in ordering a Stone Edge. As the stones begin to levitate around Anvilug, Wulfric tells it to hold them, wait for his command. Rampardos inches closer and closer, and Anvilug is getting more eager. Wulfric can see this and tells it to hold steady. He will be its eyes. Anvilug, putting its full trust in his trainer, holds fast as Rampardos begins to connect. Wulfric then calls for the fire of the Stone Edge, and in a brilliant flash of light, the two Pokemon disappear. Once everything subsides, Anvilug is still standing tall, while the rest are waiting for the smoke to clear from around Rampardos. But they don't have to wait long, as a mighty wind gusts the smoke from out of view, revealing that Rampardos took literally no damage from that technique, while Anvilug was cold-cocked on the chin by the Iron Head. Then, a healing light begins to glow, allowing Rampardos to recover what little HP it lost in that altercation, while Anvilug is finally starting to feel exhaustion. Though Chespin did lose that match, it did cause some damage to it, and that Iron Head just put the pressure on more. Knowing that Anvilug may not have much time left, Wolfric orders a Gyro Ball. The Tankberg begins to spin at a high rate, hoping to use its weight to overpower Rampardos. However, Ash and Rampardos stand firm. They will not flinch. As Anvilug comes barreling down the battlefield, Ash calls for one simple move: Rock Tomb. Rampardos stomps his foot on the ground, forcing boulders to jut up from the ground. Due to its massive size, Anvilug is unable to maneuver around them, colliding with each one after another, slowing its speed to a crawl, allowing Rampardos the time to charge with another Iron Head at the command of Ash that collides with the Colossal Mon, putting it down and ending this battle. Ash celebrates. This is what he was hoping for. He knew that Rampardos had the endurance to take whatever Anvilug could throw at. Now, they just have one more thing to get through: the Mega Evolution. Wolfric recalls his Mon, telling Ash that this new steel typing gave him just the advantage he needed to pierce the hull of his battleship. But not to worry, he still has one trick up his sleeve. Knowing what Wolfric is referring to, Ash tells Rampardos to be ready. Here comes their greatest challenge to date. Wasting no time, Wolfric sends in his ace, Abomasnow. As the frosted covered tree hits the field, its presence pushes back at Rampardos. The two stare at each other. As the last time they met, Rampardos was a mere Craniodos. It has a score to settle with his Mon, and it aims to do so today. Wolfric can feel the tension between the two. Well, Ash, this is our final showing, and I'm not going to hold anything back. As Wolfric reveals his keystone and initiates the Mega Evolution process, transforming Abomasnow into a Mega Abomasnow. Once the light subsides, the colossal behemoth that they faced before stands once again, ready to end anything that Ash can throw at it. But nor he or Rampardos flinch. They know that this is an uphill battle for them, but they are ready as Ash orders an Iron Head to charge in. Knowing that this could cause damage, Wolfric tells Abomasnow to charge a Woodhammer. As the two titans near each other, Abomasnow brings the Woodhammer down, pushing Rampardos into the gym floor. But Ash being Ash won't let this stand, as he tells Rampardos to use the momentum it's built to curl up. This allows it to literally flip and use its body as a weapon, still managing to peg a Mega Abomasnow with the Iron Head that it had charged. Though it wasn't as powerful as it was before it was hit with the Woodhammer, it still was enough to cause some damage. Impressive, Ash. So you took the rolling that you and Slugma had going and turned it into Rampardos' weapon. I wasn't expecting that, but just because it's big doesn't mean it's agile. You know what, Ash? I have to agree, Wolfric says, as he orders Abomasnow to use Ice Shard. The Mega Evolved Pokemon sharpens a pick of ice in its hand, charging towards Rampardos to hit it with priority. Though it is at a type disadvantage, this did allow it to get some revenge for that Iron Head it just took, forcing Rampardos to slide back to Ash's side of the field. That was a lot of power, Ash said. We have to be careful. However, Ash doesn't stay idle for long, as he wants to use what just happened to his advantage, calling for Rampardos to use a move that it didn't know up until its evolution: Payback. Because Abomasnow took priority in the attack, Payback's attack is doubled, as Rampardos collides with its head right into the gut of Mega Abomasnow, sending it into the gym wall, surprising even Wolfric. Well, I wasn't expecting that type of power. This new Pokemon of yours is very interesting. Let's just see how far we can go, Ash. Abomasnow, time to stop playing around. The frozen pine stands up from the crater that it was left in, ready for its next battle as it walks back to the position in front of its trainer. Feeling that it's going to take some serious power, Ash runs through scenarios in his mind, trying to think of a way that he and Rampardos can take this thing down. But at this point, he's drawing a blank, and Wolfric takes advantage of this momentary lapse in judgment, ordering a blizzard from Abomasnow. As the maelstrom whips up, a gust of cold air collides with Rampardos, causing the metal dino to slightly slow down. Ash, knowing that he can't stay idly by, tells Rampardos to use a Rock Tomb, creating somewhat of a barrier around itself until the wind subsides. This, however, gives Ash a false sense of security, as Mega Abomasnow is above Rampardos, charging an Ice Punch that he brings down on the metal Mon, pushing it into the floor with the force of the punch. Ash looks on, not sure what to do. Though he has the type advantage, both Wolfric and Mega Abomasnow act like there's nothing there, just pushing on, ready for the next attack. Ash, that confidence you had seems to have been shaken a little bit. Are you okay? Shaking off the confusion, Ash replies, Wolfric, don't worry. We're not down yet, as Rampardos rises from the crater that it was left in, blowing out some snow and dust from its nostrils, indicating that it barely felt that attack. Thinking to himself, I know Rampardos is tough. It's definitely gone farther than it ever could as a Cranidos, but things are starting to get dangerous. We need one giant move to push this through to end this. Thinking fast, Ash orders a rock tomb. Rampardos, wasting no time, stomps on the ground, sending a surge of stones rushing up from the ground towards Abomasnow. Wulfric, unwilling to wait for these to hit it, orders Abomasnow to use a wood hammer to start clearing out the rocks. However, this is what Ash was looking for, as Rampardos is on the attack with another Iron Head, but it's taken a path that not even Wulfric could have foreseen, as Ash has copied Mega Abomasnow's move when it looks up to see the metal lizard above it, bringing an Iron Head down, colliding with its own head, leveling the Abominable Snowman all in one move. That hit had true power behind it, but was it enough to end this battle? Rampardos stands back up, now breathing heavily as it's beginning to reach its limit. Ash, hoping that was enough, watches on as Wulfric calls to his Pokemon. Mega Abomasnow reacts as it makes its way to its feet too, but you can tell it's a tad bit woozy from that last hit. Ash, knowing that the battle's about to be at its climax, orders Rampardos to ready itself. Wulfric does the same, ordering an Ice Shard as priority, telling Abomasnow to put all of the power it has into it. Watching in real time, Ash tells Rampardos to be ready, lower its head to the ground. The Iron Lizard does so, waiting for Abomasnow to hit. Then, as it gets in within range, Ash tells it to use its head like a catapult while charging an Iron Head. It does so as Wulfric's ace comes within range, scooping it up, sending it into the air. As Abomasnow falls to the ground, the Mega Evolution disperses as it falls unconscious. The judge calls it, declaring Ash the winner. Ash looks on. He can't believe it. Rampardos was able to actually win. Looking out at his Metal Mon, it looks on as its opponent was one that it will not forget, collapsing from the battle they just had. Well, Ash, it seems that you were finally able to beat me. I don't know what kind of training that you went through out there, but it seems it was exactly what you needed. And as proof of your victory here at the Snowbell City Gym, I present you with this, the Iceberg Badge. Still kind of in a state of shock, Ash takes the badge, only to be nudged by Absol and the rest of his Pokemon. We did it. Wulfric, thank you for everything you've done. It wasn't anything special, Ash. As a gym leader, it is my job to make sure that the next generation of trainer is ready for the world out there, and that's all I did. With that, Ash parts from the gym, heading back to the Pokemon Center. Later that night at the Pokemon Center, Ash is with Grant. Alexa is on a call with her boss again. So, Ash, I didn't expect that you would actually win the battle this time. That training you went through must have been intense. I wouldn't say intense, Grant. I would say more a moment of clarity. It allowed me to find me again, and to get back with my Pokemon, which is something I desperately needed. Well, I'm glad, Ash. Anyway, let's go find Alexa, as Ash and Grant begin to call for her. Now we flash over to a lab of some sort, with a scientist that we have yet to meet. Zersic, the leader of Team Flare. Zersic is on a call. It's one of their field operatives, reporting information back to him. She wants to end her tenure with his group, but Zersic tells her no. She's much too valuable. She's gained his trust. She has to stick it out. Their plans are almost ready to begin. With a sigh, she says fine, and then abruptly says, "Oh, I gotta go. They're calling for me," as she hangs up. Zersic, ending the call, then turns to a man being held captive that is all too familiar with us. "So, Lysander, you insist on interfering with our plans. This is not something I can allow. So now, I'm only going to give you one chance. Where are you keeping the data on the legendary trio?" And that, my friends, is where we're going to end today's part. And that's all we have for What If Ash Was Born in Kalos, Part 10. How'd you guys feel about this part? There's a lot of things that happened in it. How did you feel about the gym battle with Wulfric? Do you feel like Ash actually won the badge? How do you feel about Rampardos' performance against a Mega Abomasnow? And what do you think is up with Alexa? And is she truly working for Team Flare? And speaking of Team Flare, why is Lysander being held captive by them? And what's going on with Serena? All things to find out in the next part. But let me know how you felt about this in the comments down below. And also, don't forget to follow me on my other platforms like Discord and Twitter. And also, if you want to provide extra support to the channel, hop on over to the Patreon. For only $5 a month, you will get up to a week's early access to all of my content. And I cannot thank you enough for the support. But with all that being said, it's time to sign out the video in the best way we know how, thanking the Patreons. Silverheart Soul, Robert, Vegito Gaming 78, Andrew McCartney, Holosiv, Julian Rodriguez, Ruben Watson, Lord Explosion Murder, Assassin 139, Flyer 943, Shadow Dragon, Tavern Landlord, K McKnight, Kevin Atran, Maker YAG, Drax, True Vault, Dalen Silva, Fox King, Dalian Petit, Warren E. Taylor, Plus Ultraman, Megar, Mike Logan, Eddie, Team Valor, and Kendall Green. Thank you all very much, and I will see you in the next video.